Hello, welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and in this episode, I'm going to share the 3 personalities, ego personas, that keep us stuck in illness and keep us stuck in lack, not being able to get better no matter what we do. And the way I became aware of these 3 personas was way back when I was in medical school doing my osteopathic medical training. I was working in the osteopathic clinic. I saw all kinds of people with all kinds of chronic illness, chronic pain, and even weird mystery syndromes no one can figure out. But the thing I noticed again and again were the way they would think, or the personalities they were in, or the ideas that they had, or this way of being and what they would say. And I saw these 3 patterns again and again and again and realized, wow, there's sort of these 3 ways that we identify ourselves or see the world that have us embody a certain kind of physiology, a certain kind of clamp down closure to life force that keeps illness going and keeps us from getting better. So welcome. I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. You can type it into the comments now, and we will be looking at these and any questions you have throughout the broadcast and choosing the biggest, juiciest questions to do other videos on and come in live and share. So share your questions, share what comes up as we're going through this material, because I would really love to hear from you and hear what are your thoughts on this and how does this land for you. Okay. So before I get into the 3 personality types, which are really like the fight, the flight, the freeze, I want to explain a little bit about how your personality, your perception, the way you see the world affects your physiology, affects your chemistry and your body. And so in MindBody Medicine, psychoneuroimmunology, which I've studied since I was really, really young, we've seen that the way you think has an effect on your chemistry, has an effect on your entire nervous system, has an effect on your cellular expression, and even has an effect on your genes, your DNA. There's information encoded in that DNA, and depending on the cellular environment, those codes get switched on or switched off. You can switch on the genes for disease and inflammation and all kinds of problems, or you can switch those same genes off and you have health. And everything going on in the genes has to do with the cellular environment, which has to do with who you are being, right? You are the star of your show. Who's your persona that you're living life through? And then how do we kind of get out of those and tap back into the true self so that health can reign? Okay, so the first one that I've seen that will keep people sick is battling your body. And the one where I've seen this the most is people who are overcoming, achieving. I'm not going to let anything get me down. Cortisol levels will be really high, and they'll tend to get syndromes like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, Lyme disease, or persistent infections that aren't getting better. And I've seen again and again those particular syndromes and this particular personality or approach to life. So if you find yourself like, I'm going to fight, I'm going to overcome, I'm not going to let this fatigue get me down, I'm going to power up, this may be where you're operating from. And so the biggest thing with battling your body is you're seeing the illness, the symptom, or even your body as the enemy. It's attacking you and you've got to fight back. And this even gets supported in the medical field, right? The war against cancer. And we're sort of taught to be in this fight with our body, or the war against the virus, right? And we're being attacked and we can't let it get us down. And so this underlying premise, it's a faulty premise to see it that way, really keeps us in that overload and that fight or flight, when the truth is your immune system is so powerful and you can access the source consciousness that creates us when you let go and surrender to come in and rectify the situation for you. So you can get the viral load down or dissolve all of the Lyme disease or Epstein-Barr or whatever may be in the body. You have the ability to do that, and you will access this when you surrender the battle. So more on that later. The second personality type or perspective persona that I saw coming into those clinics again and again, where no matter what I would do, if they kept that in place, they were not going to heal, was what I call primal fear. This deep, deep-rooted fear that on some level, I'm inadequate, I'm not loved, I don't belong, I'm not accepted. And so whether it comes from your actual experience or it comes from a past life or it comes from you don't even know where, there's this neurologic pattern of flight, clamping down to like escape, get away, fix my problem no matter what. And we put a lot of energy into escaping that fear. So this is sort of first we had the fight pattern, this might be the flight pattern, still overstimulating the sympathetic nervous system, right? Because somewhere, and it's usually unconscious, subconscious, we believe we are not safe. We are not loved. It is not okay for us to stop. A lot of people with chronic fatigue syndrome in particular have had this where it's like, no, I can't stop. I can't surrender to allow more of the life force to flow through, because that's what it would do when you come into the parasympathetic state. I can't do that. I've got to keep running. So learning more and more, trying harder, doctor to doctor to doctor, going. And if you were to take a deep breath and pause, you would become aware of this fear. You would become aware of this deep-rooted sense of, I'm not safe. It's not okay. I've got to keep going. So have a breath, soften your shoulders. See if right now you can let that in so that you actually will begin to transmute some of the energy right now. And is that you? Do you notice yourself? Maybe you have both of those, a little of each in the picture. It's okay, because what you observe, you can impact. So we're going to get to that stage in a moment. The third personality foundation that I've seen is this perspective of perpetual victim. And this one will clamp us down into freeze. And it's this space where I've got to suppress what I feel. It's not okay for me to have space. I'm powerless. Sometimes the first two kind of lead to that third one, because I've been dealing with this pain for so long. I've been dealing with this illness for long. And now I have this perspective, nothing I do will matter. And I would have my patients in the clinic say that to me. No matter what I do, this doesn't go away. Nothing I do helps me be better. And then they'd even be victim to the healthcare system or some of their practitioners. Every doctor has disappointed me. They all said they could help me, but alas, here I am again. And we go into this persona, we all do it at times, when we put our power outside ourselves. So it's this sense, I'm powerless, but maybe this person will give me something. Maybe this person will finally prove themselves to me and help me. If you find yourself in this space, it's a pretty low frequency. It's really, really hard to live there. Just observe this, notice, because it's not your truth. And just awakening to observe this, oh yeah, I've been in that fight. I've been in that flight. I've been in that freeze. I have felt victim to my body or to my illness. Just that alone releases the grip it may have had on your body, on your physiology, on your mind. So there is no shame in seeing that you maybe have been clamping down. You maybe have been reaching outside of yourself, or maybe learned through conditioning, nothing I do will matter. So it seems like the power is outside of you. And so I want to hear from you. Do you see any of this in you or in other people you know? Sometimes it's way easier to see it in them, but I would invite you to also get curious about, have I lived that way as well? Watch, and this is sort of the exercise I'll invite you to this week. Watch your words. What are you saying? In fact, there's a whole chapter in the MindBody Toolkit. If you haven't bought the book yet, I would highly recommend it because it shares 10 tools you can use anytime, anywhere to unwind these patterns so that those old physiologic and neurologic patterns that grip you and sort of create resistance to the life force that can heal you can relax, can open, so that you get more sourced. It is available at drkimd.com/book or on Amazon, MindBody Toolkit. But one of the tools in the book is use your words. Your words have power. And one of the great things they're going to do for you is help you see these patterns living through you. No wrongness. Usually it's unconscious. But if you begin to pay attention to what you're saying and how you're saying it, you'll see it. Oh, there I'm going. Being powerless, right? Oh, nothing I do works. Oh, I always have blah, 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 blah. Oh, I don't have time. I can never blah, blah, blah. Whoa, that's kind of a victim-y state, not inviting possibilities. Now, it may be true. That's how you've experienced it, but take a deep breath. Soften your body. Soon as you shift your breathing and soften your body, you enter into the parasympathetic state. And the cool thing about mind-body medicine is it's one antidote to sort of all three of these clustery things that can grip us. Soften your body. As soon as you begin to shift your breathing and shift your state, you come out of the sympathetic state and more into the parasympathetic state. The state where the body is in rest and digest, relax and restore. And the good news is no matter what it may be going on, cancer, MS, neuropathy, a pain disorder, RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy, fill in the blank, right? Hashimoto's disease, adrenal fatigue syndrome. The life force that moves through you knows exactly how to address it, how exactly to address what's going on in you that's manifesting as this quote unquote disease, or that's keeping you in the grip of that persona. So we begin to live through the I am self, right? Part of me knows I am already whole. I am infinitely resourced. I am infinitely powerful. There's an infinite power that comes through me in every moment, in every breath. What would it take to open more fully to that? So yes, watch your words, watch yourself, see if you can soften around some of the beliefs and the conclusions you've been living. And then shift your state, soften your body, breathe more fully. Every time you notice a symptom, every time you notice any of these personas, anytime you notice that clamping down again and again, I'm telling you, it gets imprinted in your physiology, it gets imprinted in your brain and nervous system, and you begin to develop new neurologic patterns, new chemical messengers, and a new physiologic state, even changes in your DNA. Super fascinating. The study of epigenetics really shares a lot about this. If you're interested in that, in the work of Bruce Lipton, who's a cell biologist, who's sort of got lots of information about this. And the reason I'm sharing that is because some people really don't know. They think the genes are static. What you get is what you get, and that's all there is to it. And it is not true. Decades of scientific studies have been showing this. So let's start to begin to incorporate this into our perspective. When you enter that parasympathetic state, your cortisol levels go down, your oxytocin goes up, your antioxidant goes up, your more life force comes through your body, so you will feel energized in a peaceful, relaxed way, and your body begins to heal. Trust in that innate healing capacity. That's really what osteopathic medicine was all about. I did begin to see so many people heal. And as I didn't point out these personality traits because there was a very direct way of going at it. And most of the people I was working with really weren't ready to see that. And so giving someone something they're not ready to receive is not a compassionate way to practice medicine. But I would begin to make suggestions. Nobody's helped you before? Are you open to something being different? It's always been this way for you. Are you willing to have compassion for how much you've suffered from this? So simple ways to unwind that space of victim, unwind that space of fear, and unwind that space of fight. I've put these together in my Mind Body Solution program for chronic fatigue, which is a program that assists you in unwinding that physiology. And really getting to the core of seeing, where does it live in me? I don't know. I just feel like this is all a mystery, and beginning to actually work with your body in a new way. If you'd like to go deeper into the work, the exercises and tools I guide you through, just like I've guided my own patients and now my own clients all over the world through this pattern of unwinding even the most serious illnesses and diseases, it is possible for all of us. So you can go to drkimd.com to find the home study programs, and the Mind Body Solution for chronic fatigue is at drkimd.com/CF, and begin that program for yourself right now. Either way, see if you can begin to live 2% more in the surrender, noticing, feeling, appreciating everything that's coming up for you, but with a space of compassion. That's what allows your physiology to slide into that open space where healing can happen. Yes, true miracles are possible no matter how many diagnoses you've been, how many medications you've been put on, that your body can unwind that process. So that is my intention for you. That is what I am inviting you to this week and going forward in your life. We will be here every week for MindBody TV broadcast at 11 a.m. Mountain Time in the MindBody community on Facebook, in Dr. Kim Duramo page on YouTube. Be sure you subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit the bell so we can stay in touch if this work resonates with you. And I would definitely invite you to delve into the book. And I think there is a lot of major points here we don't realize, and the biggest is, no matter what we're told over here, in the fight, in the flight, in the freeze, that seems to be true, we will live it out as true when we stay clamped down in those personas. It doesn't matter, because when we open, that dissolves. So no matter what you may have been told is true for you genetically, is true for you in your physiology in this very moment, or your thyroid disease, or your adrenal fatigue syndrome, or the Lyme disease that just has never gone away, try it on. Have a little faith, have a little trust, open to what your physiology can really do when you surrender the personas and the beliefs and perspective that go along with them, and allow something new to come in. I would love to hear your questions, your comments, your insights. How did this land for you? What have you been struggling with? We will be monitoring those so that we can do a broadcast, and I'll share live about some of the juiciest questions that came up that I think really pertain to a lot of people, and do my best to address them to resource you even further. All right. I look forward to seeing you soon. You can purchase the book if you haven't already, for a very, very powerful integration of this work that will go into your cellular. It will go beneath the level of your unconscious to allow that awakening for you. If you'd like to come into one of our courses, drkimd.com is my site where the courses are held to bring you through this journey. I look forward to witnessing your healing and the awakening of the world. Lots of love, and I'll see you next week for MindBody TV.